How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sampson Sports. So today, we're going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the NFL conduct policy and what NFL players should be like in the NFL. So, after the past few weeks, some of you might have seen my video where I actually ranted about the Cincinnati Bengals organization for their classless gestures and really their classless play on the field as well, pertaining especially to the linebacker Burfitt. But one thing I just want to talk about and sit and talk with you guys about and also figure out what you think is just NFL conduct policy. So sometimes the NFL, they dish out lifelong suspensions for players. Aaron Hernandez, I'm sorry, but you're never going to be playing in the NFL again. You will, though, enter jail as a tight end and leave a wide receiver. But anyway, back to the things that actually matter. So my problem with the NFL is their suspensions are not consistent, and I don't think they are that effective. Also, I do not think the NFL really grasps the idea of what NFL players should be doing off the field. So many of you know there's an award going around named the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, and it goes to the player that shows the most charismatic, most caring, side of an NFL player out to the general public. I know last year Thomas Davis, the linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, won it, and now this year notable players are Eric Berry and even Steve Smith. Go Ravens. But this award shouldn't really be limited to one person in the NFL. I mean, it is great, but I think every organization should have one. And I guess you can say that in the nominees for each organization, but every organization should have a list of players every single year that should be nominated for this award. But when you look at the NFL, pretty much every week you find about some NFL player doing something stupid out on the streets of whatever city. Either some players going, gets arrested for drug possession, gets a DUI, and sadly, murder quite a few times, or alleged murder. Rape's another one. It's so ridiculous about how many crimes you hear about these NFL players. And even with Ray Rice. Now, let me talk about this. This is really personal to my heart, not because I've ever been involved in domestic violence, but because I am a Ravens fan. I feel Ray Rice was misjudged, in fact. So, Ray Rice, as we all know, he did punch out his wife in the elevator, but what people may forget, he actually married his wife a week later after that incident. And he already was suspended for 2 games by Roger Goodell. Sure, I don't feel that was just. I feel it should have been about 6, maybe 8 games, a little bit more significant punishment to really set an example. But one thing Ray Rice did is he actually turned himself around after the event. He apologized to Goodell. He apologized to his wife, obviously, because they got married the next week. But what else did he do? He turned around, he started showing up to organizations, speaking about domestic violence and how bad it is. He's done numerous charity events. He's actually now a spokesperson for the NFL Players Organization, how to treat people in the household. He's been a great person in that. He's been very humble about it. He's looking for another chance to play in the NFL. But Roger Goodell's pretty much banned him from playing. I don't feel that's just. He's turned his life around, and if you're going to allow people that have done DUIs, manslaughter, rape, and other things, I know, people are saying, I don't think domestic violence is that bad. No, I do think it's just as bad, and he should be held accountable, which he was. But other players are getting less sentences than this for more intense crimes, in my opinion. And Ray Rice has been the spokesperson for change in my eyes as a Ravens fan. He's gone from somebody that everybody thought was a villain in the sports media world to somebody that's actually been a great influence on people now because he's learned from mistakes and he's grown from them. And I think that deserves a second chance. But you're going to give these other players that have showed no class and no nothing a second chance. I don't feel that's just at all. But last thing before I conclude this rant, which is probably not true, I'm probably going to rant a little bit longer. But the NFL, Roger Goodell, if you want to suspend a player, make it an actual suspension. These guys make tons of money. They get a ton of endorsement deals, and they don't even care about society. For example, Burfitt, I ranted about this a little bit last time. He got a 3-game suspension from Roger Goodell after he could have seriously hurt one of the NFL's best wide receivers in Antonio Brown. He did it twice. And in a couple weeks earlier, he did it to Ravens tight end Max Williams, which is even worse. And you did fine him $50K, but he's a professional football player. $50K is not going to make a difference, Roger. Do something more severe. Take him out of the league for a year. I don't care. I think that'd be a good and necessary punishment. Take him out for at least half a season after those hits on Antonio Brown. But this guy has shown no respect for other players. Sure, I think hitting hard should be a part of the game. But please, he's going after other players intentionally. He's aiming high. Don't do that. Roger, do something. Suspend him. This guy should not be playing in the NFL. If you're going to do that and not treat the game with respect, your organization with respect, no matter how classless its fans are, or the other players on the field with the same amount of respect, as they're going out on the field, putting the risk of concussion and injuries on the line to win and to play the game, you shouldn't be playing in the NFL at all. And Roger Goodell, here's another thing. These players should be a better example to these kids and the youth of the NFL. You know, the NFL plays 60 commercials, all those kids are so happy to see those players. That's what it should be like. But they shouldn't be turning on the TV channel and seeing one of these players committing a crime, committing some other criminal activity, maybe raping a person, maybe beating a person, maybe murdering a person. That shouldn't happen. The NFL needs to clean up its players completely. You should have a zero tolerance policy, in my opinion, for a lot of these things. If a player commits a crime, he should be punished significantly. No pay, no football for maybe even a year. You have to set the standard. Do not let them get off at all. Set the standard. Because if you keep doing this, Roger Goodell, next thing you know, we're going to have a team in the NFL named the Las Vegas Penitentiary Prisoners. Yeah, prisoners. Sorry, that was an accident. But seriously, pretty much every single NFL team has some kind of criminal in their organization, which is ridiculous. The league, in my opinion, needs to create more strict laws preventing these players from going out and just doing willy-nilly out in the streets. And I feel that organizations itself should be a little bit more severe as well on the part of playing. I know Bill Belichick, great example of it. If a player does something bad, he's immediately on it. For example, last year, Jonas Gray had over 200 yards and I believe almost four touchdowns. He missed a meeting if it didn't play. That's the kind of thing I want to see in the NFL and in NFL organizations. Set the standard. These guys, just because they make millions of dollars and play in front of every single person on every single TV in the United States of America, does not mean they are excluded from being a good citizen and being a good example to today's youth. If not, it should be even intensified because of their position in this world. But that's all I'm going to rant about. 2 points just to end it. NFL, make your suspensions legitimate and make them harsh. And I say that because you need to clean up all the mess you've already created. And 2, to all the NFL players out there, be a respectable individual that these kids can actually look up to for doing the right thing. Not for what you do on the field, but for doing the right thing on and off the field. That's all I have, guys, today. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think and what you think the NFL should do going forward. But that's all I have to say, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.